What's up, coconuts? You're tuning in to Coconut Diidii, and this is your own very special Diidii Coco. How are you all today? I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I kind of forgot about today, and that is because I have been preoccupied with one very special thing in my life. Food. Now, let me explain why. I love food, but I hate food. I hate food, but I love food. Let me kind of break this down for you. I am a foodie who happens to be a very picky eater. I love seeing food from different cultures, different regions, different countries, and they all look delicious and lovely, and I'm like, hello, I want to eat you. Sometimes, most of the time, it's not possible. Be it because I'm picky or be it because of dietary restrictions. And by that I mean not only do I have a halal diet, which means stuff that has alcohol in is a no-go, I'm also lactose intolerant, which is beautiful, by the way. How did I find out I was lactose intolerant? Every time I had dairy I was dying. How long did I deny it for? About 5 years. Why did I now decide this year to accept it? I just could not handle it anymore. I had one too many accidents. So it was just time to give up on the copious amounts of dairy, which wasn't a lot. To be fair, I already don't like the taste of cheese, and I don't like the taste and the smell of cow's milk. So for a long time I haven't had cow's milk or much cheese, but I would still eat pizza, and I would still have desserts, and I would probably still have ice cream, although I wouldn't have it often because ice cream and cold things give me a sore throat even in the summer. Basically, my body is very strange. My one joy is food, but with the fact that I'm lactose intolerant, thank you, and having a halal diet, it does get a bit difficult sometimes to get some food. And that's not to say because I live in England. England thankfully does have a lot of halal venues. There are a lot of Muslims in England, so I can eat at any of those Muslim places, and I have no problem eating vegetarian or vegan. Like I said, lactose intolerant. I have had my fair share of vegan food. There is some very nice vegan food. But you know, I get bored of the same flavor over and over and over and over again. I need variety in my life, but like when I cook, I also want to make variety. And something that's always in the back of my mind when I cook for other people, be it my family or friends or whatever, is nutrition. And I'm always like, well, I need to make them something semi-decent so they get some of what they're supposed to have. And usually you go down the lines of a little bit of green stuff like veg and salad, you know, your leaves. Have like a protein, so like either chicken because I don't really enjoy lamb that much, and as a Pakistani girl from a Pakistani family who are from a Pakistani family from a Pakistani family from a Pakistani family, we don't know how to cook beef, which is so sad because I love beef. I don't know if it's like genuinely love beef or if it's just the fact that I have very low iron and my body is trying to tell me to get some of that iron back in my bones, back in my blood, or if I do actually just love red meat, beef, just specifically beef. But there you go. But I can't cook beef. I have bought it many times. My mama has bought it many times for me. We have both tried to cook it. It just, like, it's alright, but it doesn't come out the way like I've eaten it before. And this is why I have trust issues with food, because I obviously am not a great cook if I can't even cook beef. I have tried slow cooking it in a slow cooker in the oven. I have cut it thinly and stir fried it. I don't know. If you know how to cook beef and make it nice and tender, can you email me, YouTube comment me, Instagram me, Twitter me, anything, please. I need to know because beef is heavenly. When I went to China, I had this beef and rice dish, and oh my goodness, it has been like 4 years, I want to say, and I am still thinking about that every single day. I wake up in the morning, I'm like, what do I want to eat today? And I'm like, specifically that beef and rice from that one little halal cafe in China when you went 4 years ago. Do I know how to recreate it? No. Why didn't I ask the people in China? Because I don't speak Chinese. That's why. The only Chinese phrases I know and knew back then was hello, takeout, and no meat. Now, the thing with like, obviously, if it's a meat dish, I have to make sure it's halal. But there's another issue, which I find a lot in Asian cooking that isn't like South Asian. Japanese cooking. There's a lot of alcohol in there. Your mirin is your rice wine. I'm sure there's other types of wines. I know Chinese cooking has another type of wine which I cannot pronounce. It's not a case of, oh, I can't eat the meat because it's not halal, so I'll just eat vegetarian, because then, you know, you've got the rice wine in it or the cooking wine or whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, I can't have that. Which is very sad, because how do I know? Let's say I find a copycat recipe, and I have this copycat recipe, and let's say I take out the alcohol. How do then I know what I'm eating is like an authentic taste? Like, what if taking out that rice wine, not replacing it with anything else, has made it into a completely, entirely different dish? Which it probably hasn't. I'm probably overthinking this. It's just one note that's not going to be in there, so it's not going to be completely different. But I can't taste the original, and I don't know anybody in my life who has tasted the original who can then have this version that I've made, which is halal, and tell me if, like, yeah, that's how it's meant to taste. And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't think it will taste that way, because I look at the recipe and then I do this South Asian thing, which is, you ignore it. What you do is you follow it, and then when it comes to adding spices, you add what they say, and then you add what you usually work with. So for me, that is my chili powder, my garam masala, my tomato powder, my turmeric, you know, all of that good stuff. And I always put garlic and ginger in, and onions. So everything tastes vaguely the same because I just put the same base flavors in everything I cook. And I know I should stop doing this so things taste different, but I can't bring myself to stop doing it. Like, I don't know how to explain it other than the South Asian blood in me forces my hands to move and kind of grab the spice tin, use the tiny ass baby spoon in there, and put it in all the usual spices and shove them all in. For example, I make Japanese katsu curry. Is it authentic? I don't know. How am I supposed to know? I don't have any Japanese people in my life. I make my own Japanese katsu curry. I make it out of carrots, so technically it's a carrot curry sauce, and then I like breadcrumb my chicken. I lightly fry it. I add some boiled white rice. I position it nice and beautiful. Add a side salad because I'm classy like that. But I will put turmeric in it. I will put ginger and garlic in it. There's already onions in it. There's curry powder in it. But I'll also add a little bit of chili powder, and I will add the tomato powder, and I will add the garam masala. And honestly, I don't know if the Japanese people even use garam masala. If they do, then well done, it's a win for me. If they don't, then why the hell am I putting it in a Japanese recipe? I mean, it tastes good. My katsu curry, whether it's authentic or not, that bitch tastes good. I am obsessed with her. I feel like it's the only dish that I can make that is like my dish, you know? You know, if like someone were to ask you if you were on Come Dine With Me, what would you make? For the starter, I don't know, I'd probably make some soup. For the dessert, I would make either banana bread, or I make an amazing nice tart lemon cake. My main though, my main would be the main bitch, my katsu curry. I just feel like it's the only thing I know how to make that never goes wrong. Everything else I make in my life, I either under season, over season, don't cook enough, cook too much. I cry when I'm making it, I cry after I've made it. I eat it, I cry because I'm like, it's not the taste that I wanted, it doesn't taste nice. Everybody else says it's nice, but I'm sure they're just being nice to me because, hello, I'm at the dinner table, we're all sat there, and this little child coconut over here is legit crying her eyes out because the food didn't come out the way she wants. So that's kind of how I operate. But kind of, I don't really know how to get round this food thing, because the best way to get over being bored of food is to try new foods and make new foods. But as you've just heard, I am a very chaotic cook. I'm a cook who cries, who throws things around, who tries to make 8 different things at once and then like gets overwhelmed and just sits on the kitchen floor and has a kitchen floor reset. And what I mean by this is I literally get all the way down on the kitchen floor, cry about my life, then slowly drag myself up via the hand railing things on my kitchen drawers. So I kind of like, I'm on the floor and then I go like, I grab the first handle of the first drawer, then I grab the handle on the second drawer and then the third drawer, and then like by that point I'm sitting up on my knees, and then I like reach my hand up and I grab onto the gas cooker and I pull, and then like, you know, I'm kind of like half stood up, and then I reach for the top of the fridge and I hold, and then I pull, and then I'm stood up again and I'm still crying, but at least I'm stood up now. Then I kind of just finish off whatever I was cooking, and then I toss it on the table, tell everybody to come and eat. They eat, they're fine, they're happy, they finish their plates, but I'm sat there crying, picking at my food. Why am I like this? Is anybody else a chaotic cook, or is it just me? Like, I don't even understand what comes over me. Maybe I was just born not to cook, unless it was like 4 times a year. However, I cook like weekly. I want to say like 3 days a week, all the meals. And I have for a very long time. I have since the age of 12, so you would have thought I would have been a good cook by now. But I'm not. Unless you want quote unquote Japanese katsu curry with a side salad and chicken soup for your starter and a nice zesty lemon cake for dessert. What can I say? If you ever want to come round to eat, that's all you're getting. And if you come again and again and again, surprise, it's the same thing. That's all I can do for you, I'm afraid. But kind of trying to go from being like, oh, I'm bored of food, I want to try different things, but I can't go out and try them because potentially I'm not in the country where it's made. For example, I don't know anywhere near where I live that makes Nigerian food, and I have this big craving to try it. I don't have anywhere near me that makes Lebanese food, and I have a very big craving to try it. And I don't really have anywhere near me that makes like authentic Indian food. Like, I'm not Indian, I'm Pakistani, and I can tell you for a fact the flavors are different. And oh my goodness, Indian veg food is so good. I am obsessed. I've had it once, just once, on the off chance that once upon a time I had an Indian friend. Unfortunately, I moved away, but I had that bitch for like 3 years, and oh my goodness, she bought me food once and I was floored. It was so nice. So I would love to try it again. However, where I live, there is no like Indian food. It's all Pakistani food. So that's issue number 1. Potentially you don't live in the area where you can get it. Issue number 2 is it is not adapted to the food restrictions that you have. It's not adapted to the food restrictions that you have. So being on a halal diet, if it's not halal meat, it's fine. I can have the vegetarian version, but not if you've got alcohol in it. And another thing I found that I had to watch out for, especially when I was in China, it might have been a vegetable soup, but they made it with lard. I can't have lard because it is pig fat, or any type of animal fat. and we don't do that. We don't eat that. We're not allowed to eat that. So it was difficult. I remember one day when I was in China, like, there was just nothing where I could eat a meal. Like, it was a whole complex shopping mall, and there was so many like traditional Chinese restaurants, and I was adamant that I was gonna eat there. Like, I didn't come all the way to China to eat non-Chinese food. However, even like the vegetarian options there, they were all like made with lard, or it was like shellfish, and I was like, a bitch can't eat that. So I ended up having to go to McDonald's, which I don't even eat in the UK, by the way. I haven't stepped foot into a McDonald's in England in over 7 years. However, I ate a McDonald's in China, unfortunately. But I will say, it was a very nice triple fish sandwich. The third issue is trying to make it yourself, but not knowing how it originally tastes, so you don't know if it's authentic or if it's supposed to taste that way in the first place. I mean, if it tastes good, it's good, but if it doesn't taste like exactly there, how am I supposed to know what will take it to the next level? I don't know. I don't even know what rice wine tastes like. So how can I be like, oh, you know what's missing from this dish, love? Rice wine. A good lug of rice wine in this. Brilliant, amazing, show-stopping, never been done before. How am I supposed to know that? I don't know what rice wine. And trust me, I have Googled and I have asked. I have Googled, what can I use in place of rice wine or any other type of wine or sherry or whatever, and I think it was Hilal Cooking is the website that I ended up on. And this person, God bless their heart, they had a list of what alcohols are used in cooking, what flavour they give, kind of, and what to use in, like, to substitute what to use. So I think something was to do, there was an alcohol, maybe sherry, and it was like a cherry flavour or something, and they said something like cherryade or something. I didn't do it because I was like, I don't want to put cherryade in my food. That don't sound right to me. But if, for example, I hadn't been Muslim at the start and I had tried sherry and I knew exactly sherry and cherryade, you know, we kind of get the same aftertaste, then I would have done it. But because I don't know, then I'm just kind of like, you know, don't know if that's gonna work. I don't want to ruin the food, because we know when I ruin food, I cry, and I'm just not in the mood to cry. It sounds like I cry often. I cry like once a week, probably less. I don't know, how often do I cry? Maybe we'll know by the next podcast episode. Maybe I'll start like jotting down how often I cry, but I can guarantee it's not more than once a week. I don't cry every time I cook. However, I do have this one thing. It's called an angry housewife drink, and they're all numbered. So it is drinks that I have whilst I'm cooking that I imagine if I was a white angry housewife, I would drink as a type of alcohol to kind of get me through the day, because, you know, life's hard. However, I am a Muslim girl. I do not drink alcohol, so I substitute. I think Angry Housewife drink number 24 is orange and mango J2O. And Angry Housewife 52, Angry Housewife drink 52 is Virgil's black cherry soda. Now both of these come in glass bottles where you have to kind of pop open the metal lid with a can opener thing, and let me tell you, the effect that it gives me, I start sassing people. They really put me in that mindset of being a drunk angry housewife who's like, I'm stuck with this disaster of a husband and a disaster of children, and I have to cook for them and I don't want to. So do I have a number 4? A number 4 issue for food? Healthy eating. Trying to figure out how to make stuff healthy, because it's not really explained other than make sure you eat your fruit and veg. So kind of the idea of healthy eating that I have is like, you have a plate and half of your plate is full of green leafy stuff and vegetables, and then 1/4 is like your proteins and the other quarter is your carb, which is fine. But like, I have issues with that because I don't even know where to start. First of all, when there's people in your house who don't like vegetables at all, how do I kind of get them to eat healthy if they don't eat vegetables? Like, what am I supposed to do? And like, potatoes are nice and they count as a vegetable, right? So do I just give them extra potato carb vegetable things? I don't know. But like, also for myself, I will eat vegetables, I love vegetables, but then I'm like, well, what do I make? Like, let's say I made chicken and then I made some mash with it, and then I had a plate full of like cabbage and leaves and spinach and cucumbers and a bit of sweet corn and some bell peppers, maybe some mushrooms. What do I do for the next meal then? How do I like zhuzh it up? How do I keep the variety going? I don't understand, because at the end of the day, all I've got is veg, carbs and protein, and we already know I'm not really into lamb, so I've got chicken and beef, but I can't cook beef, so I've got just chicken. I don't know any other protein, so I've just got chicken. I mean, I eat lentils, I love lentils, so I have either chicken or lentils. Now if it's lentils, then it's going to be lentil curry, which is going to be with rice, which is my carbs, and then I have a side salad with it. But then that's it. That's the only meal I have with lentils. So then I've got chicken, and then what would I do for carbs? I would do potatoes. So then I've got chicken and potato, and then veg. And then what do I do? What's my next option? Chicken, potatoes and veg. Chicken, potatoes and veg. And chicken, potatoes and veg. Somebody help me. Get some variety into my life. Like, what am I supposed to be eating? I don't understand. And also like, eggs. Oh, eggs are protein. But here's the thing, yeah. So I've got 3 meals then. I can have lentils, rice and a side salad. Chicken, potatoes and a side salad. Or eggs, potatoes and a side salad. What else can I have? That's 3 meals. That's like 1 day's worth of food. What do I do for the rest? Where's my variety? How do I get variety? Food is weird. Food is very weird, and this kind of why I'm really thankful that Ramadan is very soon, because when I get to this point where I look at food and food looks back at me and we're both just like, hey, I hate you. Ramadan kind of brings me back into focus of like how precious food is and how wonderful it is, because in Ramadan I can have the most blandest morsel of food, like literally like a tiny bit, like not even a speck of food, and I think it tastes wonderful and delicious, and it's the best thing I have ever had. And that's kind of how I always want to be with food. I always want to be appreciative, and I want to enjoy it. Like, I don't want to eat for the sake of eating, for the sake of living. I want to eat for the sake of enjoyment. For me as a Muslim girl, eating is a very social aspect. It's the only thing I do socially with my friends. I can't go out drinking. I don't go out clubbing or partying. Bowling alleys are closed, and not everyone is up for going to a bowling alley. Going for like activities is kind of hard because my scarf will end up everywhere. Not a lot of places are like scarf friendly, especially in the UK. So kind of the only thing that I do with my friends to be social is we go out for a meal. So to know that eating for enjoyment and socializing is such a big part of my life, it gets very upsetting that me and food have a hate relationship for a long time. Throughout the year, I would say like 10 months of the year, I'm bored of food, and I'm upset with food, and I'm annoyed by food, and I'm like aggravated by food, just because like the notion of like, what the hell am I supposed to make to eat, what the hell am I making everyone else, how do I kind of balance everything out, how do I make it taste nice, why doesn't food taste nice anymore, why can I not just have nice food, why do I have to cook it, why can I never cook nice things? So just these things, they go on and on and on and on and on. And Ramadan always seems to come when I am at my peak moment of, you know what, I don't want food anymore because it just does not taste nice, there's no enjoyment. And honestly, for some people, they can just eat when they're supposed to and kind of just shovel it in their mouth, and there are ways I can do that. I kind of just put on an anime episode and I'm not paying attention and I will shovel the food in my mouth, but I don't want to do that. I want to be grateful for the food that I'm eating, you know, whether I've cooked it or someone else has cooked it. I want to be grateful. I kind of want to just take the time and be like, I am in a very lucky position that I have got food in my life. There are people out there who don't get 3 meals in a day, 2 meals a day, they don't even get 1 meal a day. Some people have to really like scrounge around for food or work weeks on end just to be able to get 1 meal. And I don't have to work to get food where I am, and to then take it as something that's a given and just like shovel it into my mouth without understanding that and without appreciating that, it's quite upsetting. And I don't want to do that anymore, but I don't know how to become unbored of food other than restricting it, as I do during Ramadan. But Ramadan only happens once a year. So if any of you have any suggestions about how to make food exciting, how I can cook beef, or if you have any ideas of like meals that I should try to make, and if you know any recipes, you know, leave them all down in the comments below. Maybe I'll make a video where I try out your guys' recipes, or if I cook them and you can see how chaotic of a cook I am. I think that would be great. So thank you all for tuning in. This has been Coconut Diidii, and I hope you all stay well, and I shall see you again in 2 weeks. Bye bye!